curves that I've seen in terms of petroleum reserves, do we have till 2050 to get the same?
That's a different issue.
And how's that going to affect this 1% per year?
Well, it's really interesting. The question is, like, those curves we call optimally plausible, good as it can get. Can't get any better than this. And if it can't get any better than this, it's a long time before it has impact. So somebody better work on something else. That was the message. In fact, if you read the report, the first message is, we think this is important, but you got to work on something else for that reason. Now, the whole issue of world oil peaking is an entirely different issue. But there's, it's interesting. We met with, I went up a couple of days in Detroit, and some of the GM people, the first thing they ask is, how do you drive this into the market faster? And if you don't have the technology, you don't have the infrastructure, you really can't do it faster. And so you have to have something else if you run out of water. I'm going to run out of water now. It's a whole different issue. But it's going to run out sometime. 2050 is a long way off. But I don't believe, to answer your question, and I think our committee felt that you could drive this technology into the market any faster than we should. We spent a lot of time developing this. So don't go run around assuming you're going to have all this. You're going to drive it in the market, but to a place where you actually materially have a positive impact on the U.S. society. I don't think we can drive it faster.
Let me follow up then. Was there anything in your report to DOE that they might want to go back and emphasize the conservation?
Well, well, of course, this is conservation.
Right. That is.
In our report, we strongly suggested that the DOE develop a total systems capability for the total U.S. energy system, looking at supply and demand and all the potential supply actions, which they have not done. That's one of the things they have not done. They started, but you have to really look at the whole system. Now, there's been more and more discussion in Washington about intersection of policy and technology. For example, the Bush Energy Plan comes out, and there's nothing there. It's a supply side energy. There's a lot of positive things in it, but it's a supply side plan. There's no CAFE standards in it, no increased modeling standards in it. And so, to answer your question, we recommended a large, we focused on hydrogen, and we made some general recommendations. I since was on another study on oil peaking, which I led in Washington, which we actually just released today, looking at world oil peaking. And in that study, we actually did recommend that DOE needs to specifically look at the issue of demand destruction. In a different study. But it's a very, very important issue. Demand was, you would think price would decrease demand, right? Price goes to $3 a gallon. Demand didn't change a lot. So at some point, though, price would kill demand, I think. Yes?
Do you think once the national oil scare or oil embargo would be required to boost the research and technology in hydrogen fuel cells?
No, I mean, if you look at the current plan that just was released in the State of the Union message, and you look at that level of spending, if it's not earmarked, and actually that plan showed no earmark, but it's here. I think that level of research is probably enough. I think you just really have to have some breakthroughs. You have to have some major storage and a couple of other areas. You probably need Nobel Prize breakthroughs in order to have the kind of that would actually make all this go. So it's the money is coming. It's more the technology brings. Yes.
I'm probably the least technical person sitting in this room. And I am going to make an observation that the largest energy source that we have in the neighborhood is the sun. And I was intrigued several years ago when I heard an astronomer from NOVA say with the Earth, I'll accept him as being smarter than I am, that we get 4.5 pounds of sunlight per second from this planet. And that grows and maintains all the life on this second or on this planet, which amazes me. And I'm wondering, is there any thought about trying to figure out how to get some more of that sunlight down here via maybe turning it into electricity and running it through
Well, that's what, first of all, yes. That's what photovoltaics, sun doesn't shine all the time.
Well, how about put something in space and collect the sun?
Oh, you're from John Meany.
Well, I'm just trying to push.
I guess if you look at these recommendations in more detail, what you'll see in these recommendations is this committee believes that ultimately solar energy is a source. It's just not the way it's practiced today. And there are technologies today, very very exploratory technologies that are really being developed in microorganisms that will basically split water. Okay, and you don't have to go through these types of things. But you need bioengineering, you need a lot of stuff. And actually the DOE, I'm not sure if the DOE did or we suggested it, but DOE has actually increased that research up to about $30 million a year in the last 2 years. Looking at these very long-term uses of bioengineering and solar engineering. I mean, I can stay for that. I'm sure it's 9 o'clock at night, people probably want to go. Most people, all the students are getting credit. You get double credit? Try to negotiate it now. Yes.
May I ask a related question? Since one of the major immediate sources from natural gas to make hydrogen, and the natural gas price in the United States and Canada is 10 or 20 times higher than other parts of the world. First of all, is that correct?
That's
Maybe
not,
somebody-
it's natural gas is priced more locally because, the market is demand. Usually when you're importing natural gas by liquefied natural gas, the liquefied natural gas cost sets the floor, which is about $5 a million. And so natural gas in this country is higher because of that and also because of demand. And there's a shortage, so the marketplace. But it's 50% higher. It's not that much. Depends on where you are in the world.
Okay. Yeah, so is there any effort to produce more natural gas in this country? From
Well, certainly, I mean,
biowaste?
the oil industry has all kinds of activities looking for more resources in the Gulf of Mexico and areas. But, I mean, the reality is that unless you go out a lot deeper in the Gulf or maybe go some of the areas that are not accessible to exploration, you're not going to find a lot more gas. Not with our appetite. You're going to have to probably import the natural gas. I mean, all these large oil companies have large activities. You can even, with geoscience now, you actually much better look for natural gas compared to oil than you could in the past. So there's certainly activities going on with finding large pieces of natural
Yeah,
gas.
but in many other countries that I am aware of, they generate the natural methane, for example, from bio-waste. But then in this country, we use sanitary landfill. And so we just dump those waste and then generate nothing. And we run out of the landfill site.
Well, you certainly can generate natural gas in landfills, but to generate the volume of natural gas that are required to do what we're talking about here, you probably can't have a major impact. That's not a good idea. I mean, places like Qatar they have gas reservoirs that have a trillion cubic feet of gas in them, so that's, I don't care. I mean, people can get up and leave if they want. I mean, I don't want to keep people here, students and everybody. I'm not insulted. I'm too old. It's okay.
We'll take two more
Question
questions.
about natural gas hydrates and how much there is the potential for that.
There's a lot. It's very deep, not very well understood about how to extract it and contain it. There's certainly a lot of research going on, particularly in the oil industry, of trying to be able to get out natural gas, a lot of natural gas and hydrates.
I just know that BMW has been working a lot on hybrid hydrogen gasoline engines,
Yes.
actually combusting the hydrogen.
Yes.
Was that looked at as a feasible and good way to transition to combust the hydrogen first, then get fuel cells in the
It is.
vehicles?
The question is whether you can make an internal combustion hydrogen vehicle. And BMW is working on it. And on a more recent study I was on, we actually looked at, it was not part of this study because we were looking at fuel cells. It's a transitional technology. It cannot get the types of efficiencies that would be required. But, it is more efficient, and it could be a transitional issue, but you still have where's the hydrogen going to come from. But, BMW is very convinced that.
I think we better stop and look before students stop.
And for all the students, thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you all. Get about 7.
Sorry it took so long.
That's the reason I came here, to get information on how we
We'll deliver up to 257 science. Get them to us by 10:15. He missed 2 planes today. Got here at 2 o'clock. Lost our homework.
Yeah, I have been
Yeah, this is one of their, there are about maybe 30, 35 students here, I think about a third of the audience, been almost full. Normally I get only 5 to 30 per class, is wonderful. Right. He actually has 28 slides, he showed only 17. My rule of thumb is that the number of slides shown is inversely proportional to the student's age. If you're 30 years old, you have to show how smart you are, you show 60 slides.
yes.
No way to keep up. This is Professor Weiss.
I'm doing fine. Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely. I have some,
Because we understand the
decades. So then I will,
I would guess
so then.
You get in the next week,
Yeah, actually, well, my question is about when I was I used to hear about solar panel technologies and how it's going to, in the future, be a new energy source. And I was wondering if the same
I was almost going to do that.
it is a good, in theory, the theory behind it is really good, like the market of
I guess what I would say is, better to share time we have any major impact from that type of solar technology. That kind of solar technology, there's no way to store that. And so, body, and it's very good power on land. And still, without subsidies, PV solar is 13 cents a kilowatt. 14 cents a kilowatt, very expensive. So in certain locations where you have to go with better energy there, you can, to large scale.
I couldn't go get them anymore, but you know what to get.
I'm not making any solar testing. I'm very positive. I just think for this application, you need to get this application.
Yeah, but it just always.
Thanks for inviting me.
I have a check for it.
Yeah, and I'll remember when
I don't know if you have any expenses.
Well, I've been on it. And when I get there,
A signal, right?
Yeah. Well, in case you have any stuff, you can share it.
I don't have a chance. Thank you. Thank you.
I think at some point the study done about using geothermal energy in the Aleutian Islands. It was done in the 70s. They said that almost all of the
Okay.
energy needs to come from gasoline right now could be supplied by the geothermal power in the Aleutian Islands producing hydrogen electrolysis right there. And the problem was getting it transported in some sort of a pipeline or something. Is there still anything being looked into? You know, you haven't heard anything about it. Okay. Because I didn't hear much about geothermal.
We didn't include geothermal because when we did the original estimates, we could also, there wasn't enough geothermal energy to kind of impact.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I just read one thing about it, so I don't know if it was just a.
And you know, it's a different thing to produce something and get the board to.
Yeah, exactly. That was the problem with it. You know, they said we can produce all the heat.
It's a really good thing that there was a guy to help here because we never would have gotten it put together in time.
It's not that this will, we're just, we try to make things we thought that have big impact. As quickly as,
And somebody asked about natural gas hybrids, and maybe I misunderstood.
Hydrates.
Well, oh, hybrids.
Hydrate.
Okay.
Hydrates.
Okay, that's what they're asking about. Okay, because I was going to say in Germany, there's already completely natural gas cars and fueling stations. And
No, this is,
okay.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay. Never mind.
Windows is shutting down.
I guess my question is very technical here, but you mentioned briefly engagement as a social issue.
Unplug all cables connected to the laptop or computer. So that's just one.
What have DOE done to ease the public mind to this?
Well, they have a very active program, you know, California itself has built a.
I don't know which machine, which box.
First of all, they have a very active safety program.
Okay, now
Where they're actually looking at filling the cost. And not to have leaks.
where's that go?
This is,
And actually, hydrogen is used very fast.
This goes with the computer.
This is very fast, so there's a counterbalance.
This I think probably.
They have a very active safety area. They also have programs where they're using hydrogen.
We also had a very large, we had 10 people, or 10 or 12 people at dinner too.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yes, just all worked well. Boy, that's not turning off very fast, is it? Well, will it turn off?
You know, I think that slowly put into the market, it's more expensive, and getting people used to seeing it will help overcome some of those social issues.
Yep.
Okay.
Does the
What
DOE
about this?
plan
Where
on
is
maybe educating the public
Yes, they have an education program. And,
Last time I did this, I left the cord here, and that wasn't good. Okay,
What's
what's
not part of that program? But the program also was allowed.
I think these are ours, and this is probably ours too.
My question is on the production phase. In the graph where you showed what oil demand would hypothetically be in 2050, you said that hydrogen would only be capable of the maximum for half of that.
Half of this is actually probably, so this is, you only use hydrogen for people. but it was in quadrillions. BTUs, and I decided quadrillion BTUs might not be the right term. So I converted the barrel, so some of the lines are a little slight.
I think that probably.
You actually, the other plot.
Okay. Now we're gonna zip this up.
This is floods. This is transportation. Chemical oil here. You do as production.
Did we get all chords?
So it can replace all of it, might do transportation, but that's not all of it.
And this comes all the way over here.
Yeah, that's the cord connected to the house. I don't think you can figure it out.
That went extremely well. Here's tomorrow's host. This is Herman Mora.
Hey, I'm ready then, but I just want to explain a little bit what we have planned for tomorrow.
Okay.
Basically, the idea is that for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, just sort of
I don't
explain
think
a little bit about
they made
well, the ultimate goal is for our majors and graduate students to ask you questions about the future of the oil company, the oil business, working for.
This is the.
Geology.
Geology.
Oh, geology, okay. So, okay.
Geology, yeah. So they
So I'm
want
going to meet with a lot of students.
there's going to be probably 20.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. And basically most of the time is then they're going to ask you questions
Fine.
about your experience in.
This is a 9 to 10 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I like it. So
And-
it's easier.
Yeah. So you don't have to say it.
No, I think it's, that way you answer what people want to know. When I talk, I assume that you want to.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
And from then I take your next.
Somebody's going to be directors, like chemical engineering, and bring you over that line.
Yes, yes. And then from then
Actually, I look forward to that. So you want me
We're
to
gonna
first
take,
few minutes?
just a few minutes, just explaining
Yeah, what?
a little bit about your background. I'm gonna make a brief introduction.
There's one thing you know, this is not
Polish.
5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe all
And then
the-
another visiting student.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna
I was in charge of all of the research.
So this must be unions.
That's the unions.
Okay.
So I actually, you're fine to do it. I actually did.
We should introduce you to him.
Yeah.
Herman Mora is Mike is going to spend an hour and a quarter over
I love geology.
geology. No, he just came, he was late, missed all the afternoon's events. And then he goes back to the airport early, right after our seminar.
Thank you for your questions. Thanks for doing these slides.
This is Jalen Jane, who's the last president of Sigma Xi last year.
So that's why I was in the process of making decision inviting you, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, she was the president of the organization when we picked her.
Nice turnout.
Excellent.
It's a wonderful turnout.
Yeah, yeah.
Great turnout.
Always hard to know how to balance what you're going to say with who all is going to be in the audience. So.
The Simpkins people were mainly in an energy course.
Actually, I'm going to Princeton next week and talking to all the freshman engineers. And so I started changing the talk a little bit because there will be freshman engineering students.
These people, well, the
I
woman,
live here in Princeton, so I go there all the time.
the woman sitting right here is one of my own students, and then there was another one who was one of mine. I don't know how she found out about it. This other one was in Simpkins class.
Yeah, okay.
So, but first, tomorrow you're here, you talk to graduate chemical engineers.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm actually going to show with analysis. I'm not going to show lots of oil and stuff. I'm going to actually show the CO2 balances.
I know, I saw you, I've read your talk.
Okay.
Let's see
Nice
if
to meet you and see you tomorrow.
we, I think we
I
have
think
it.
you got everything.
I think we do.
Is this common to get an honorarium?
Did they give you something? Did
I mean,
Harry give you something?
I mean, is this
200? I guess, I didn't know.
I mean, I really don't.
He's the secretary treasurer.
I really would rather not edit it up.